Hello there, this is Sandy, and I'm back at the Babylock Solaris. I'm working on my journey to learn this machine as much as I can. It's a long journey. I've had the machine for about a little over a year, and been doing a lot of different machine embroidery items and such, and couching and edge to edge and all kinds of fun things. I wanted to make sure I go down the IQ Designer avenue more. And so just before the holidays, I made 2 videos on some of the towels I was monogramming. And in those 2 videos, one of them, I remember saying that I had tried to work on a design in my IQ Designer book, but I did not have the time to stitch that one out because I had it loaded into the machine. I got through the exercise and then I just ran out of time. I had to get those presents done. So now I'm circling back to do that again and share it with you. And I'm using this book called Babylock's Mastering IQ Designer book. They said it was okay for me to share this with you, but I think it's really important to have the book because it's just a really well done book. And it's written in a way so that if you've got the different kinds of Babylock machines that you should be able to follow the directions to go through these exercises. So I'm working on this one called Embossed Towels, and it will look something like that. And so I thought I would just go through that with you since I had mentioned that in the previous videos. So here we go. There's a lot more in this book. I got this at my local sewing center, the Sewing Source in Lake Villa. I put their website in my description, so you should be able to find their phone number if you want to give them a call, because I think they have some left. So I'm going to start at the beginning. I'm just going to read the instructions to myself and translate them because they're written for various machines. So you just have to interpret them to what your machine is. And it's not that big of a deal. But like from here, it says from the home page, select the large font key. Well, I'm on the home page, so there isn't a large font key, but I know that I need to go into embroidery. And here, number 4 is my large font key. And from there, I'm going to select the large striped font. And I'll scroll down and find my S and press set. And I'm in the embroidery edit screen, so I'll click on this edit icon that shows all of these features that you can use. And I'm going to use the flower shape creation icon. I'm not using any of these features. I'm just pressing memory, and it's reminding me that when I go to IQ Designer, I can find it by going into that shapes stamp icon. So I'll just press OK. Now I'm on the next page already. Now I'm going to touch this home key, and it's telling me it's okay that I can cancel the current selection. In the book, it says touch the home key and confirm OK to delete, but this is the same thing. So I'll press OK. Then I'm going to go into IQ Designer. I found this stamp/shape icon, and it wants me to use the 4th design here. So I'll press OK. Now to resize it, I have to press the size icon. And it wants me to make it 4x4, so I'm going to use these inward arrows. Oh, there, oh, there, 4x4. Press OK. Now I'll press this icon here. Again, the stamps/shapes icon. And it wants me to pick number 15, which is that long oval shape. So I'll press OK. And then I need to resize it again, so I'll use the size button. And it wants it to be about 2.3 by 5.1. So I'm going to do the downward because I have a feeling it's proportional. Oh, 2.3. Okay. Sometimes it resizes it different. I'm going to make it a little bit wider. I like the 5.1 length. And I can actually make it 2.3 by using the up key. Nope, it's not going to work this time. Okay. And so at the 5.1, I could actually go closer to that. You could make it bigger if you want, though. There. Close enough. Now I'll press OK and then use this duplicate button here. It makes sense. Sometimes I'm trying to get these keys in my head, and it makes sense that this is like a copy. So I press that, and you can see it creates another oval shape. Then it wants me to touch rotate and turn it 90 degrees. Next page, I'll press center. Then it wants me to save it to memory after I press OK. Into the machine. Now, I can either use this eraser tool or this selection tool. And with the selection tool, I would use this cut icon to remove the overlapping lines, because the goal is going to use that zoom feature, but I need to get it to this size, this shape. See how it's all filled in here? So I'm going to zoom into 200. I'm going to try using this. I'm going to leave this shapes square highlighted, and maybe I can get rid of this center part. I probably could have gone more above. And then see how it's red there? I can press the cut. So now from here, I can use the erase button. And the thing to remember here is take your finger off the mouse, because every time you do it saves it, and that way if you have to do a reverse, if you accidentally erase something you shouldn't have, you won't have to go back. Like one time I'll be like erasing, and then I'll be like, oops, I went outside. When I do the undo, it gets rid of everything I did. So if you can erase, then lift your finger off the mouse, erase. Yeah, I learned that the hard way. I've worked in IQ Designer enough to learn that the hard way. And I'm just kind of trying to erase all the big lines while it's at 200%. Because I can go in here. I almost went too much without, doing what I just said. Okay, so now that I've done the middle, I can do 400. And here's another little trick if you don't know. When you see that icon here, the eraser, when you hit the pan button, the hand, that will deselect. This will deselect. So I'll have to do another keystroke to just select it again. So watch. See, I can use the pan hand, but now I have to press this key again. So I'm going to press the square. I'm going to change the size. I'm just trying to cut down on keystrokes because when my old job, that was part of my job process improvement. And so now if you use these slider bars here and at the top and the side, it won't deselect. I'm going to press OK, but see, it's still selected. So you're going to do that. I'm just going to continue to get rid of, oh, see, I did it. There. But it didn't, because I had taken my finger off the mouse. There, it saved it. Those changes, and it didn't undo everything that I did before. Especially when you get to these little spots. And see now, as I use the slider button, it does not deselect. I could just keep going. Maybe I'll make it bigger. Oh. So one thing I learned too when I was in these larger, when I magnify the image up here, when you do that, the little eraser gets bigger, and you have to go really slow or really make it small. I remember making a video saying, why is that eraser so big? I just made it smaller. Well, yeah, you made it smaller, but it was in a screen that was like 200% or 100%. I think we're good. Let's just look. Everything there? Yeah, everything looks good. Okay, we're ready. Okay, so now we want to put it into memory. That would make sense because we just did a lot of erasing. Now we're going to touch the select key again down here and select the new frame shape. I don't think I did that right. I think I need to go down to 100%. I got to undo that. All right, so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to select the whole thing. Okay? Now I can touch duplicate down here. So you can see that it created another one. I'm going to size this so that it's 5.78 by 5.78. So I'm going to press the size icon, and I'm going to use these out pushing arrows to get to 5.78 by 5.78. Okay. Now I'll press center and OK. Now you go to this select icon again, and we're going to use select the artwork. I think that's this one. It doesn't show which one, but I think it's that one. Yes. If I do, when I select this one, it's like a grouping. So I'm going to press size, and it wants me to adjust it to fit inside my 5x7 hoop. I'm not using a 5x7. I'm using, I think, a 9.5 by 9.5, but I can pretend that I am. So 5 wouldn't mean I have to get it like, what, 4.99 if I was doing that? Yeah, I'm on the right part. So it's making it equal proportionally, 4.99 or 5. I'll just try that. Okay, select the stamps or shapes icon. I'm going to press OK. So I'm pressing this again, and I'm looking for this little flower because that's where we put our letter. There it is. I've done this a couple times. I got to get rid of these. I'll have to go back and get rid of these. Okay, now I selected the letter and I'm going to touch size. I'm going to adjust it to fit my frame. So I'm going to downsize it. Okay, if I click outside of it, I can see, do I like that? I think that's good. Let me look at the picture. Well, theirs is pretty big inside the hoop, so I'm going to leave that. It says you can move the design as desired in the frame. But I got it centered, so I think it's all centered because I had grouped it, I think. Well, after I grouped it, I selected the letter, so it might not be grouped again. I'm going to press OK. Now I'm going to touch memory again. I'm going to select line properties. And I have a zigzag selected here. I want to pick a color. Let's use green. I'll press OK. And now I can do the fill, bucket, cup, and I'm going to attach it. I'm going to apply it to every line because I want this to be all one color and it's all zigzag. Okay. And then from there we select the region properties and we're going to pick a fill and we're going to pick a color. So I want it to do a stipple, I believe. Oh wait, no, that's not what I want. I've done that in another one. So I want the green again, and I want to go to this third one because that pulls up all the designs I select. And there's like, oh, let's see how many, 48 designs, but the one in the book is like, oh, this will be easier to use my finger. This one, 7. So I'm going to press OK. And OK on this screen because I've got my fill. I've got my color selected. Now, you can't really see that too well on the screen. But I want to fill this with the bucket again. You might not be able to see it. I can see it. Maybe it's the green color I picked. Maybe it's the background I changed it to. I'll have to figure that out. But for right now, I'm just going to, I applied it to the center. So now from here, I can press next. So on these, I can use, it says use the select keys to select the fill portion of the design. So there's the zigzag, another zigzag, another zigzag. It went from the outside line to the inside line to the S, so you can see what it's going to do. And then the fill it's selecting. So it says use the select keys to select the line portion of the design. So that's that one. And then use the link key, this one, to select all the satin outlines. So it looks like it selected all of them. And then on the screen, it wanted me to change this 0.06. I did that on the first time I tried stitching this out when I was helping out in a store that I'm friends with. it was way too small. So I want to increase that. Let's see what it looks like when it's that big. Okay, so now that looks too big. No wonder why it was smaller. Let's see. And you could do whatever you want. If you did not want to group those 3 lines together, you can make each one of them different. But I think I'll leave it like that. All right, and then the density here, I can do 100. I think I usually like to go up a little bit. Okay. Well, I really want to go use this arrow button to get back to this fill part of the design, because here is where I want to change it to, it says use 50%. I'll press OK, and you'll see it resizes that to be much smaller, which is really cool. This, it recommends leaving it 0. I won't go over all those things. Leave this off. Leave this at 0. I think that's like shifting it. Let's see here. I have all of the I have a sheet that I printed out from another place that goes over all of these, what they mean. I think I was listening to More Sewing Center, Kathy, and she gives great worksheets. And one of them was decoding what all of these symbols mean, which is, we've got it in the book, we've got it in the instructions in the machine, but just having that couple page handout from her is really helpful. If you think it's helpful to have like a little video to go over what these are, I probably could do more research and do that. It would be good for me too. And then here is how many times. I think I want the dense thickness. I don't want like a single stitch. It's going to go over this inside stitching a couple times. So I'm going to leave that as it is. I like that. All right. So I press set. Cancel. I want to put that one into memory too, since I did change it. That's not in the book, but I just feel like I should do it. So I'm going to press set. Now it's just reminding me about how it's being converted to the embroidery pattern, and I'm going to leave IQ Designer. So from this point, I can't make changes. So I'm going to say okay. In the embroidery screen, I can resize and rotate however I want. But if I wanted to do that, I can just click the edit button and then resize and rotate, which maybe I will. I like using this because when you use the increase size button, it changes the size proportionally. So I like it when it does that. I've had good luck using it. But those are 2 keys that I have to study a little bit more too. The rest of these I'm pretty familiar with. Okay, I'm pressing OK. Now, it says touch edit end, but I know that means go into embroidery. So from here, if I touch layout, I can put a basting stitch in there, but I don't really want to do that. But you can if you want to. And, you know, maybe I will, because I did hoop my fabric, but I forgot to put down my water soluble on top because it's late and I'm tired. I started this late. Here you can assign a color to the needle of choice, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to do, I guess I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to close that screen. and we're ready to go. So if I look at this, so you have your first box is the basting box, and then if I use this needle plus minus, the next one we'll stitch is the knock down with the design fill in, and then the next one is the satin stitches, and that's all there is to it. I'll press OK. All right, so now I can see if I can load in my hoop. And let's see here. We're at 25 minutes. I've already got it marked. I wasn't sure if I was actually going to stitch this out, but it's probably fun to do the whole exercise. So, it's telling me the embroidery unit will move. Okay, so I just need to get my roll of water-soluble stabilizer. I thought I had it out. Yeah, I did have it out. Where did it go? Oh, I'm going to get my color too, so bear with me. I'm trying to think which color would look great on there. And it's kind of a gray green. Like, it's not like a true green. But I do like it, like a monotone color on there. So let's just see. Let's just see what I don't really want a bright green. It's kind of like it's like a gray green, but it's almost like a blue green. I think this light is making it look a different color too. Well, let's just see how this one looks. Okay. Opening up a new thread. You could use any color you want on there. Just, I like that tone on tone look. Some of those towels I did that with, I really liked how they looked. Like monotone. Okay, now I marked it and it's a little bit off here, so I'm going to press move, layout, and then move. And I could actually use this. So I'm over on this screen and I was using these. This is how it looks when you go into the embroidery screen. Press layout. Oh, that's how it looks. Sorry. That's how it looks when you go to the embroidery screen. You press layout and then all these other buttons come up. So the next thing we could do is do this projector button. And then it will tell me, let's see, I can do that. I can do that. I can do that. I kind of like it bright. So this is, I think it's like 4 inches, and the new radiance is a lot bigger. So I think I'm going to move it up because I don't like it being that low. I mean, it's not a big deal if it is, but this is a hand towel. So I think this will be good right there. So am I still looking center? Yeah, I think that's about right. So now I can also press OK here. And then this button here, if I do this, it will scan it. And I can kind of check that way too. Does it look level? It's going to be pretty big. And if I was like, that was too fast, I can do these other buttons at the bottom. Go to the middle, go to the right. Here's the edge of the frame. Go to the other side. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, I'm done with checking. I'm going to get rid of that little mark. Okay, so the first thing it wants to do is that basting stitch. I see my, I got to get the water soluble, which I have now located. I know why I couldn't find it is because I used up my last roll. I can't believe that. I've been doing so much embroidery. Okay, and this is a new roll too, so gotta open that one up. I'm sorry if this takes longer than, but that should be about good. Usually try to have everything ready, but oh, not tonight. You can always fast forward past this part. Okay, so now this is the part that I want to use my needle plus minus, and I'm going to advance the needle 1 stitch because I want to anchor, even though it sews in this corner. I'm pressing the needle down, needle up, and sometimes it does not come up right unless I put the foot down and do needle down, needle up. Okay, I go up and I pull up the white thread from the bottom, and this, I think it's called Femore. Can you see that? Ugh. This is the best tweezers in the world. I got it from my local sewing shop, but you probably can get it online or... All right, so now from here, I've got the 2 threads pulled up. I can put my presser foot down, and I can hold the start, stop. See, it does a back stitch and everything, but for some reason, if you don't do it this way, it will act like it wants to not baste. So it kind of got caught there, but that's okay. Now I kind of hold it down when I'm doing this. And there's a place I noticed, I haven't used it yet, in the settings. I think you can change the size of this basting stitch. It's very big. I guess that's okay, but I think there's an option to do that. Okay, so we've got our basting box stitched. I'm going to check the camera. Looks like everything looks okay. So now it's going to do the next part, which is that really pretty, what is it? It's like a fill-in stitch. This is where you can just stand back and let the machine do the work. I can show you my favorite scissors while it's stitching. This one I love to use for machine embroidery. I'm not trying to sell anything. I just love these scissors. I get them all from that local sewing shop. It's called Karen K. I can't read it. Buckley. And then there's also this little baby one, which I received as a gift last year. Not last year, the year before, because I was in the embroidery club there at the Sewing Source in Lake Villa for the whole year, and we do fun stuff every month. I think it's the last Saturday of every month, and then at the end of the year we have a little party. And Debbie, the owner, she's really nice. She got us a gift, and that little green scissors was in the gift bag, and it was such a wonderful, wonderful tool. Very sharp. And this tweezers I like because my hands have arthritis in them, and sometimes I can't, and sometimes I'm wearing like long nails, and I can never get used to having long nails, so I can't grab things good. So this one, I have probably like 6 tweezers, and this is the only one I like. I will get rid of all of the other ones because this one really grabs. I guess each tweezers can be used for its own purpose. I have one tweezers that's really pointy. That one's really good for other things, like if when I do nail art for myself, I'll need it for that. So I guess I won't get rid of all of them, but for sewing, that's my favorite. I've got on the bottom, I've got this in the magnetic hoop, 8x8, because I just didn't want to mess around with having to fit it into you know, a regular Babylock hoop. I think I was using the 5x7 when I was doing the Christmas presents, because I had a couple machines going making those. One of my older ones, and then this good new one. And whoops, I'm looking at that string. I don't know why that is there. I guess it didn't cut the jump stitch or something. I kind of forgot what I was saying because of that. Well, if it's important, it will come back. Oh, I was using the 5x7 hoops, and I got tired of using them. So I figured, you know, for this one, I would just use this bigger one. And on the bottom of this design, I've just got like a medium weight tearaway. And I used some spray, temporary spray adhesive. And it works beautifully. It worked beautifully on the towels. So I'm hoping you can see okay. Hopefully you can pinch your screen. And again, this design is from Mastering IQ Designer book. If you're interested, give her a call. Last time I was there, she had several copies left. So. Her name is Debbie. You can tell her I sent you. I don't get anything for it. I'm just trying to help a small business. You know, our sewing stores are slowly closing, so many closing, and we have to work together to keep them going. Okay. Ready for the next color. I picked a good color, I think. It's really a pretty tone on tone. I didn't think it would match that well, but it's so funny. I have a big light shining over on my thread rack, which I made with my husband because I got so many colors. I ended up buying Floriani threads, putting them on a rack on the wall. Oops, don't like that. Okay, we're gonna have to use our needle. Plus, mine looked like it came out of the needle. So get a little bit of troubleshooting in here. There. I'll cut that off. Okay, I'm going to have to do the needle plus minus. Drop that down. And then I'm going to use this little W plus because it will shine that light down. Now, let's see here if you can see it. This is really cool. If I do the, let me show you on the screen. See that W? I'm going to press that. See this red cross? Now, I can go use my I'm using the needle plus minus negative, like I'm going back stitches, but I can see, like, by using the cross where I'm at. I don't usually use that, but I just wanted to share that because it's cool. Okay, so I'm going to press this secure stitch. It's like one stitch button, and then I'm going to press go. That didn't happen to me during the whole time I did all of those towels. And I do like this, the width of that stitch. Well, let me show you. This is really nice how it's stitching out. But look at, this is the first one. And this was at the 0.06 width. So it's nice still, but it doesn't show up that much. It's still okay. I wouldn't throw it away. Still, but when I changed it from this one, I made sure that I made that bigger. The thing is, it will be interesting to see. I think that second row of satin stitching will go right on top of this stitching, so I think it'll be okay, because when we designed it on the screen in IQ Designer, that's the way it looked. Like it was not going to run into this other row of stitching. So I'm really liking this, and this does take quite a while to stitch out in case you want to fast forward it. To do all of this zigzagging, I'm going to make sure, I think this is a new, this is definitely a new, get the word out, Sandy, a new spool of thread. So that's probably what happened. I can see it unraveling, like, I probably should have it in the spool holder right in front, right across from the thread guides. So I was doing some studying on metallic thread because I also want to start working with that too as I continue my machine embroidery part of this journey. There's so many little avenues you can go down, and metallic thread is one of them. And I was learning yesterday about how when they make thread spools, there's like a cross, there's a way they wind it up crisscrossing, and so those types of spools you want to have like in your thread rack where it's feeding up through the thread rack and down through the tension of the machine and the loops, the thread guides and the tension. Whereas the ones that are just kind of wrapped in a circle around the spool, those sound like they would be better off, especially with metallic threads, if you have like it coming straight off the spool, not sideways. Like they used a roll of toilet paper just to illustrate the point. You don't want your thread twisting when it's wound that way by the company, because it'll just cause that metallic thread to have more stress on it, and it will keep breaking. So I started studying. I think I watched like 6 or 7 videos on my way home from a trip we were on the other day, and that's coming up because I love metallic thread. I have a lot of metallic thread still, Shaklee and other brands, off brands, and I want to use them. So that will be coming up. And I want to work with variegated threads too. But I had no idea. I never really thought about it until I watched those videos yesterday about how it really matters how you feed your thread into the machine based on how they wound it up from the company that you purchased it from. This is Floriani thread. It's really pretty. PF 291. Yeah, it was 14 minutes of stitching. Let's see. It looks like there's 9 minutes left. So it's got to do this satin stitch around there, and then a satin stitch around the S, and then it will be done. I don't know about you, but like if I'm just laying in bed at night, sometimes I find it fun to watch a video like this to just keep learning and getting things in my brain, because repetition is so good when you're trying to learn anything. So I'm just going to let this stitch out because I really don't have that much more to say. I have to, when it's done, I'll just tear off this water soluble, spritz it down, tear off the tearaway stabilizer in the back, and see what the towel looks like. So I can show you what it looks like when I'm done, if you're still around, or if you fast forward. Since I'm not doing a live. I always treat these as live though. I guess I'm just not ready to do them yet, but someday I'm going to. I think if it was a something shorter, maybe I would have, and if I would have started earlier, and yeah, it's already probably almost midnight. Yeah, I'm all set to do lives. I've got I don't really have an ideal setup. I have like a very unprofessional one, but I have a really nice tablet that I'm filming on. And if I did a live, I think I would be able to see comments on there. I just don't know how well I would be able to actually respond to them, but I think I'm going to give it a try soon on a shorter project. Yeah, when I did all those towels for gifts, I did not do a basting box on any of them. The temporary spray adhesive held down the towel very well. And I think there was just enough room for me to just hold down this water soluble, and it worked out well. I was really in a time crunch though. Okay, we're almost done with the second row. Got my spritz bottle ready so that That project started on page 55, and it goes into stitching steps, which I just skipped over, but it says you need to put your embroidery foot on. Well, that's a given. An anti-glue needle, which I did not use. Embroidery thread. A bobbin with embroidery thread in it. I use finishing touch. Right now I'm using pre-wound. They say use a Filtech pre-wound bobbin. That's the kind I gotta get, because I didn't know I needed that kind, and I ended up getting, I think, off-brand. And stitching steps. Embroider hoop towel, floated towels. Yeah, that's a given. When completed, remove it from the hoop. And that ends on page 59. So it's 4 pages. And that's what their towel looks like. They used a darker thread. It really shows up good on theirs. I'm done with the book. So I have a question if anybody's listening. Do you use pre-wound bobbins, and when you're done with them, do you keep them? Do you reuse them? Because I've listened to a couple people, well, actually, I think it was Power Tools and Thread, where she said that they're very cheap and flimsy, that we shouldn't reuse them. But to me, they look the same. They look the same as when I buy like a pack of them off of, Amazon. Do you reuse them? Or do you recycle them somehow? I don't know if they're recyclable. What do you do with yours? That's assuming someone will listen to the end of the video, all the way to the end. That will be a test. Although, we still have 3 minutes to go. This is going pretty fast. This is a new towel. I think I got it from Kohl's. Most of the towels I found before the holiday all had this double stripe, which doesn't bother me. Some people, whoops, that's the dog. Some people only like to embroider on the ones that have just a single stripe. I think it's because it's lower, but I think it's fine, because I've used some of my trial and error towels, hand towels, here at home, and when I fold them over and hang them on the towel rack, the level that the embroidery, having to embroider above the double line, it's not too high. It's been just fine. So maybe there's other reasons why people use those. I think it's just personal preference, and if you can get them. Two minutes. That's done most of the S. Just got to come around and do. Oh, looks so pretty. I'm gonna get my scissors ready. This is the other scissors I like. This is for in the hoop stuff. It works really good. I think that's also for more. Right there. That's the company. I use these so much they need to be sharpened. And I was told by the company when I contacted them on Facebook that I asked them for tips to sharpen them at home, because I would rather just do that, because I do card making, and sometimes you can sharpen your die cutting machines. And I think not die cutting, punches. and things like that. You can sharpen with aluminum foil. There's a couple things you can sharpen by just cutting with aluminum foil. Like, well, not scissors, but other things. So I thought maybe I could try that, but they said no. If I wanted to send them all to them, they could sharpen them. I don't think they would charge. I don't think so, but it's at their site. They do have a site and they're on Facebook. I'm getting my scissors ready so I could just pop this, all this water soluble off the top, and then I'm going to wet it down. Got my microfiber towel. Move you back. Okay, let's move this out. See if I got you back far enough. Okay, let's get rid of this basting stitch. My voice is getting higher. That's not good. This is why I don't like the basting stitch. But if it works for you, that's fine. And my dog is very nervous because my husband is usually by her side and he went on a trip. And she's missing him and nervous. I think she's nervous. She's hearing every little noise and barking at it. She barks at everything. She barks to say hello. I guess that makes sense. They don't have any other way to talk. It's becoming a ritual that I work on machine embroidery when I'm in my pajamas because it's always so late. There. Might have to cut off some more thread. But let's get rid of that because that is like really good already. Where's my little grabber? Yeah, that thing is so good. Okay, so I'm trying to make sure you can see. I don't know if you can see still there. Sorry if I'm making you dizzy. That looks pretty cool. Now, the inside, this is all raised up because it's not tacked down. So this is like trial and error. You can see if you like a darker one or a lighter one. This, I thought it was monotone, but it's looking lighter now. So now I'll take the frame off. One moment. Take this apart. It's a bulky frame. So this is where this basting stitch, I'll have to work on getting the knot out. It's funny that it makes such a good knot, and I have such a hard time getting it out. But if I didn't make that knot, a lot of times it will just not stitch the basting stitch. If I don't, advance it one. So I'll go over on the other side now of this machine, and I'll pull out this stuff. the cutaway. So you probably don't need to see that. Let me flip it. There it is. And I think that when it dries, I think that these stitches will show up. Because look how light this is compared to me. I had to wet it down. So, looks like I got some jump stitches in there too. That's weird that there would be jump stitches in there. But, could be. But I'll probably rough up this inner part here a little bit. Maybe that's, maybe I should have, when I was designing it, I could have gone a little wider, and then there would have been more fabric like this. Embossed. Or debossed, whatever you want to call it. So there you go. And I'll fold this thing so you can see what it looks like. Like, here's the towel in half. So, you know, when it's hanging on the rack, so I don't have it folded just right because I'm like at an angle because of the camera. Oh, sorry. There. So, it's still not folded right, but it's not too, I don't think it's too high because of the double stripe. Now, if there was just one stripe, it might be better. Or even, I could have made this smaller, but I wanted it to be bigger because I wanted to just see what that design looked like. So, there you go. Thanks for watching. Hope you made it that long. Hey, if you like what I'm doing, give the video a like, subscribe, say hello, make a comment. Let me know if you've tried this, if you're interested in that book, if you've got the book. Yeah, I think it's, when it dries, it's gonna, those stitches are looking darker now, and I think they'll show up even more. So, thanks for watching again. Have a great day. Bye-bye.